Today we're making pierogies. If you don't know pierogies, then well, you're about to find out. They are so good. They are puffy pillows of deliciousness. They are potato pocket stuffers that are cheesy and they hit all of the savory notes.
Hey, welcome back. My name's Cass and this is Everyday Cass. I'm a modern day hippie mama that likes using food as medicine and cleaner alternatives for my home.
Okay, I forgot the potatoes. So I have to run to the store really fast to get them. I'm gonna take Milo for a walk and get the potatoes. It is so windy here. So windy, so cold. We're supposed to be getting snow next week. I can't wait to get home. I got the potatoes. Let's get cooking. I'm so excited for today's video. I haven't talked yet about my 80-20 rule. I think it's an important time. I think everyone's own goals towards health and wellness is different. And I don't think we should judge anyone for the way that they choose to live their lives. But one way where I have found so far it to be really useful is to have some sort of rule with yourself. My rule is 80-20. 80% of the time I try to live a very healthy, nutritious, non-toxic in my life. And 20% of the time I bend. I bend a little bit, mostly because of nostalgic reasons, certain things that bring me joy. And then others is because of the people I surround myself with. Most of the people, including my husband, they eat wheat, they eat things that I don't eat on a daily basis. Where I am in my life right now, if I'm any tighter than that, I feel like it will affect my mental health and perhaps even lead to unhealthy eating habits. And I'll just leave it there. My goal is to be 90-10. That to me is optimal. I don't think 100% is necessary. Today is part of that 20%. Christmas is around the corner. It's next week, in fact. I live here in the UK, but my whole family lives in Canada, and half of them are Polish. Today we're making pierogies. If you know pierogies, you know how delicious they are. I have them once a year at Christmas time. I'm gonna start with the potatoes, something that I rarely ever eat. I do have a sweet potato. I sometimes will make sweet potato pierogies instead, but I want to be really nostalgic this year. This is our first Christmas as a family, and I'm away from my family, and that's always really hard. The pierogi is a very sacred, precious thing to me, and I just haven't been able to knock it out of my diet. That's why I have the 80-20 rule. I give myself opportunities to eat things I wouldn't normally eat. I know my body can handle it because I'm not doing it every single day. This recipe makes a lot, about like 100 pierogies. I don't really measure the potatoes so much because if there's leftovers, my husband will just eat them. I'm gonna start with peeling the potatoes, getting everything prepped. I have a pot here. I'm gonna throw the potatoes into the pot as I peel and stuff, and then I'm gonna start on sauteing an onion for the stuffing as well. I'm going to chop these so that they cook a little faster and they cook a little bit more consistently. So I don't have like some lumps that are like kind of hard and others that are really smushy. Okay, next, an onion. Always put a bit of onion, caramelized onions, into the actual potato mixture. I think it adds nice flavor. Not all the onion is gonna go into the mixture. Some of it is gonna be for toppings, okay? So I'm just putting in the pan right now a little bit of coconut oil. This one doesn't have any, it's like a neutral taste. So I'm putting a little bit of this and a little bit of butter in the pan. Next, I'm just gonna prep the cheese. Medium and a mild. Is mixed the two together. I usually don't really go by ratios, I go by taste. I don't eat a ton of dairy anymore, so when I do, it's like, it tastes so good. I might need all of it. I can't remember, honestly. I just go by taste, so we'll see. We'll see. Now I'm just gonna start on the actual dough. And I like to let the dough rest a little bit before I actually start making the protein. It's time consuming. This is a time consuming project, but you betcha we're having pierogies tonight. And then I'll freeze a bunch of them for Christmas Day. Really quick, just wanna show you what's going on in here. Okay, so there's the onions. You see the onions, they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. I just took the lid off. I'm gonna give them a little stir. And then potatoes. It's a very light boil at the moment, but they're cooking. Okay, so now I'm gonna just prep my area for the dough. I'm gonna kind of move everything from here and then I'm gonna clean the counter. This is my own cleaning solution. It's just 1 part vinegar, 1 part water. That's it, that's in this one. Okay, hair is back. Let's get started on the dough. I'm gonna grab a large bowl. I'm gonna add roughly 4 cups of flour into the bowl. And this is a very simple dough recipe, so it really doesn't make that much of a difference if it's not absolutely exact. Okay, the next part goes pretty fast, so I have measured out 1.5 cups of warm water. Usually, sometimes it's less, sometimes it's more. I have 3 tablespoons of melted butter to go in there as well. So I'm gonna put those in, and then I'm gonna start stirring. Have some flour ready to go to sprinkle on the table to start the process. This is how I make dough, okay? Don't want too much. Okay, let's get going. I'm just gonna clean my hands. You see how like dirty my hands are? The dough is starting to feel like it's coming together, and I don't want these little bits to cling to the dough, so I'm just gonna clean my hands. Okay, that is looking as good as it's gonna get. It's not perfect, but it'll do. It'll do, okay? There's my little pierogi dough ball. It doesn't look like a lot, but this will make a lot of pierogies. A lot. I am going to let it chill a tiny bit, maybe 15, 30 minutes, just depends. Not too much, it doesn't need, it's quite cool in the house, so it doesn't really need to chill that much. It's already getting quite cold. A lot of steam coming off of these, so I won't put it to the camera, but they're essentially boiled potatoes, and I'm gonna mash them. Yeah, I don't know, there's certain foods in your life, in your family, that have so many memories built around them. So I'm curious, like, what is your family recipe, whether it has to do with Christmas or not? What is that one for you that makes you feel so nostalgic, makes you feel like there's a warm hug around you, and that you have so many memories attached to? Okay, this mash is looking beautiful. I don't know if it's too steamy, but you can see like it's very well mashed. It's well mashed potatoes. The potatoes are well mashed. 1 teaspoon. So there's this type of cheese. It's a Polish cheese. It's a very dry, like it's a dry cottage cheese in a way. And some people put them in their pierogies, some people don't. I like it. I like that little bit, but I can't find it here. I can't find it here in England. So, controversial, but ricotta cheese in here. Okay, it's just about taste and feel, so I'm just gonna add some of the cheese in. I'm doing a mix. Remember I did a mix between the medium and the mild. So I'm just adding it in. See, adding it in. And we're gonna start stirring. Ugh. I'm gonna add in the onions now because I think this is right, but like, it's not gonna taste right without the onions. You know what I mean? So I'm not gonna taste it now. I'm gonna taste it after I put the onions in. And then if I need to add more cheese or stuff, you know, I'll know what it needs to taste like. Okay. Okay. Can you kind of see the mixture? See, like, you can see parts of the onion. Oh yeah. That is lovely. Stuffing is done and perfect. Okay, I'm just gonna place this in the fridge just to kind of cool off a little bit because there's still steam coming. It's gonna be too hard to, you want it to kind of be cold so that it holds together a little bit better. Okay, my counter is still really nice and clean, so I'm just gonna sprinkle a little bit of the flour down, all that across there. This is for the filling. I haven't tried it with one of these, I'm really excited. Some of the prep that we're doing. I'm gonna get a plate, and I'm gonna get a really clean towel, hand towel, to put on it to cover the pierogies so they don't get dry. Dry pierogi is a bad pierogi. And then I'm gonna get some water boiling. That way, it's like an assembly line. You're continually making them, so it takes forever. So they'll be in here, and I'll cover them. That way, they're not getting too dry, and then I have time to get them into the water. You will also want your colander back for when you get the pierogies out. You're not dumping the water because you're going to continue to recycle that water as you make them, but you're going to want to scoop them out and put them in here with a plate under, like so. Next, you're going to want a big kind of container, something like this, and you're going to want to melt some neutral tasting oil. Olive oil has a bit too strong of a taste, I think. So I'm going to melt down some neutral tasting coconut oil, just a little bit. You want to gently coat the pierogies once they come out of the water in them. If not, when they dry, they'll all stick together. Last tip, water. You might need some water to dampen the edges of the little dough pockets that you're making, just to get them to come together. Okay, so I don't always need it, it depends on the dough. I'm just gonna cut away a little bit of the dough. I like using this wine glass for them. It's a good size. We're just gonna start at the top. I'm gonna start at the top and just go around wherever you feel makes sense. Now I'm just gonna peel away all this extra bits. I don't want them to get too dry because I'll reuse this. And let's see if this scooper move works. I feel like this is the right amount of stuffing. Okay, so here we go. We're gonna start making one. What I do is I kind of like tuck and pull it over, and then I like pinch around as I'm going, kind of. I don't know if any of this makes sense. It's more of like a feel, but you can tell this dough is good. I don't need any water so far. I flip it over just to check out the. You want to pinch it and make sure it's really, really pinched and sealed, or else when it hits that water, it will open up. So there's your first one. I put it on the plate and I start and I cover. And then we just keep going. I think it's the perfect filling size, and what I like most about it is it's easier to get the dough around a circular shape than like a ununiform shape, so it really makes it actually faster. My favorite when I was a kid was, see, this side is not going to have too much filling, so it's going to be a really doughy bite, and I used to love those. Like, can you tell? Like, that's going to be like a really doughy bite, and then there's like a ton of filling. Sometimes that happens when you make them. And I used to love that doughy bite though. It just was very satisfying. Is when you boil pierogies is you put them in one at a time. When they start floating to the top, give it about a minute or two, and then they'll be done. Okay, there are my pierogies so far. Oh, hey little guy, watch out. Here are my pierogies so far. They're really well shaped, to be honest. I'm surprised. I haven't made them in so long, but they're well shaped pierogies. They're cute. I'm gonna dunk them in the water, and then next time you see me, we're gonna have some pierogies. There we go. So I think the trick is with pierogies is a bit of caramelized onions on top and a little bit of browned butter. I think brown butter is key. And then I like the powdered pepper. I like the powdered pepper on there. It's a little bit more milder than your fresh pepper. So I'm just sprinkling a little bit of salt on there. Take another look. Ooh. Butter. Ah. Let's look inside. You see? Just fluffy, cheesy, potato-ness. Oh, this is one of those like doughy bits I was telling you about. There's those dishes that you make that transport you through so many memories, and whether they are good for you or not, I think it's important to still have those memories and have those moments in life. So good. One more little shot. Why can't this be health food? I would eat it breakfast, lunch, and dinner. All day.